it takes courage, and I'm so proud of you for just stepping out and doing what's uncomfortable, because it really truly is going to make you a better not just a better speaker, but have conversations with attorney clients that flow better. I think the more we practice, and we practice with each other here, where we're stumbling over our words or stumbling over our tongue, we get tongue tied here with each other. It's okay, because everyone here is learning and there is no pressure. We have this group of amazing nurses. You guys all care for one another, and everyone just supports each other. It's just different. This group is just different. And so it's okay to mess up here, and nobody's going to make fun of you, right? We just don't allow it. We don't allow it. And I think that the people that do behave that way or make us feel uncomfortable, they end up just kind of falling off and finding their own. So we have this really beautiful group of people who really support one another and encourage each other. And so you're in a safe place, is what I'm trying to say, when you are first practicing how to speak and get your words out so they make sense, so that when you do go out and have those conversations with attorneys, if you're at a booth or if you're at an in-person event, it's easier and it just flows better. I'm super proud of you. I'm not going to take up any more time because I want Jen to share her story with you guys. Can we all unmute and just tell Jen, like, hey man, you're awesome. Congrats. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for sharing your story. Clap for her, because it
Thank
is.
you, Jen.
Yes, it is. It's important that all these little things, that maybe we feel like isn't a big deal. It is a big deal when you're nervous and you're scared and you're an introvert. So we're super proud of you. Thank you for supporting her. And Jen, I can't wait to hear your story. So I'm going to let you just take it away, girl. This is your floor. You do your thing, and I'll be here to support you.
Thanks so much, Janice. I really appreciate that. I've been a nurse for 13 years. I started out my nursing career at a skilled nursing facility and then transitioned to inpatient oncology, telemetry, and then ED for the past 6 years. Recently transitioned out of the ED, and I currently work part-time as an advice nurse, so get to work from home for that, which is really nice. It's been a good transition because ultimately I want to leave and do my business full-time, so being able to kind of step away from the bedside and just kind of be on the telephone in the meantime has been very helpful. So I've been working on my own business, fully launched it in December, this past December. I joined the group in, I think, past the last July. So I think I went through the class and the cases like up until about October, November. It was really tough, but I really pushed through and then really started marketing in December. So I've subbed on one case for oncology, and then I've worked 11 on my own. My first attorney on my own, she has given me like quite a number of cases. They've been really good, even just for learning, mostly PI and VA cases, but I've learned a lot and I feel like I've improved even on my own reporting. But my motivation to be an LNC was kind of multifactorial. I've been burned out from bedside nursing since 2015, really. And, I tried changing specialties a few times just to see if I could revitalize my love for nursing, but ultimately it would kind of go back to the same old where I was tired of it. I was burned out, tired of management kind of pushing down, tired of the abuse from patients, doctors, families. It was just very negative. And nursing too, as a culture, some places are better than others, but can be pretty toxic. Lateral violence, I think they call it. So I was just really tired of it. Really tired of it. And then, I just found myself anxious, stressed out, dreading going to work. And I hated that feeling. Ultimately, I had my son in December of 2021. And I think it kind of really kick-fired my drive in myself to be like, okay, I think I need to change this. I went back to work in April of 2022, and I was just still burnt out, but ultimately I just hated that feeling, and I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want that for my family, and there some increased violence in our ED. We had a patient who tried to grab a gun from one of our cops and ended up getting stabbed by the cop because they couldn't, get them off of them. And I guess that was their protocol. But so the stabbing, and then we had a patient threaten one of the doctors with a gun because they wouldn't get them a taxi, something stupid like that. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't feel safe here. I want to work at a place where, I feel respected and I don't have to worry about getting hurt, on a regular basis. So one of my old coworkers, she became an LNC, and she actually got Janice's book, and she posted about becoming an LNC. And I said, oh, I'm kind of interested in doing that. I've always loved, crime, mysteries, all that kind of stuff. And she said, I got this book. I read it and it's been really helpful. So I looked online and I saw the program, and I kind of like was thinking about it for a while. I think I joined one of like the calls, just like an info call, and I was like, okay, I think I need to do this. This is right up my alley. I love the legal aspect. I love, you know, the investigative work. I love even just, legal charting. I was always one of the nurses who would read other people's chart notes to make sure that they were very like legally minded, cover your bases, make sure that it's not like, too opinionated, that sort of thing. And even just looking through other people's charting and be like, oh, you really should chart this, or make sure you chart this to cover yourself. So I was always kind of interested in that anyways. So this was kind of like a perfect fit. I could be flexible, do things that I really like, and then help people in a different way, even just so far in my LNC career, I just see people are mistreated after being injured, or, not, being denied, financial compensation for these crazy injuries. And it's just mind blowing. So being able to help them even just, get compensation, or even just get their medical bills paid for that, and being able to make a good case for them is really rewarding. So, challenges, obstacles so far, definitely time. Right now, I need to keep my part-time job for insurance for my family. So just kind of working around my part-time job right now. And then, of course, with a toddler is always challenging, but I set certain goals for myself that are reasonable, and keeping a to-do list. So setting goals for myself that aren't too big. I found that I was at the beginning making myself, have these big goals, and then I wouldn't get them, and I would kind of get down on myself like, I didn't do the XYZ. I love being able to check things off my to-do list. So if I didn't check it off my to-do list, I was like, oh man, I didn't do everything today. But I found that if I set certain goals for myself, made sure that I reached them, I felt more positive. I felt more motivated to even just, continuing. So that has really been helpful. And, like just making things work for our family. So, working around, my son's schedule on my days off. So, working during his nap time, working after he goes to bed, maybe doing like a little marketing, like if he's watching one of his favorite shows for an hour or so, but kind of making it work for us has been really, really helpful. At first I was just trying to do time that, didn't really work, and it just felt wrong. And then, just finding, the right fit for us. And I think finding the right fit for you is very important with, especially with this business. And that's the whole goal, right? Is being able to make things fit for you, make sure that you're doing things on your terms, which is, awesome. Love that. Love being able to work for yourself. Another obstacle I faced has definitely been imposter syndrome, limiting self-talk, or self-limiting talk, excuse me. Can I do this? Am I knowledgeable enough for this? Do I have what it takes? But listening to Janice and her instructions has been so super helpful. Follow Janice's plan week after week. It also helped kind of being open about your feelings about it. I talked with my husband about, how I was feeling, and, just having people like encourage you, and just, realizing that it's not just you that has those thoughts. It's, everybody has those thoughts. But I mean, we all can do this. We all have the knowledge for it, and we all have access to the internet and this wonderful group of other nurses that we can throw out questions for, or, just even get, feedback on. I think there was one recent case that I just sent over to the LNFJ email group, and I was like, hey, my gut is telling me that, this, what do you guys think? Just want to have a second opinion, second set of eyes. And even just having that is just so helpful. And, I some accomplishments. Definitely, the more cases I've gotten, the more confident I've been feeling with, doing this work overall. But, my first ever attorney, I was reaching out to her recently. I gave her a cost estimate via email, just like I normally do. And she responded back with, I trust you. You have been more than fair. And we really appreciate that. And just, it was so reassuring to hear that. And, not only did she love my work product, but she completely trusted me that I wasn't going to rip her off. And she trusted me as a business owner. So that was just such a I don't know, that so, like, floored me, just that I'm doing the right thing, and not only does she love my work or appreciate that, but that I've been honest and trustworthy and all those good things that you want in a business. So, so far, keeping that positive mindset is so, so, so important. I probably would have let myself quit months ago if it weren't for me just continuing to look forward. When those thoughts kind of creep in, I have a few tricks in my bag that usually helps. But I think about what I want my life to look like. So in 1 year, 5 years, 6 months from now, what is it that I want? And just kind of working towards it and realizing what is going to get me to that goal. So ultimately, what do I want? I want to be able to work for myself. I want to be able to be at home with my son, not have to bring him to daycare if I don't need to, being able to work around my own schedule and just focusing on, okay, what is going to get me to that goal? So continuing marketing, continuing working with attorneys, getting testimonials, like continuing doing that, just those small growths, those small steps, they really add up to, reaching that goal. And, it can be hard to see it when you're in the muck of it. Like if I get kind of worn down, is I look back 6 months ago, I started marketing. I had no attorneys. I had just booted my website. I didn't even have business card. I didn't have my LLC. So looking at what I've accomplished so far in 6 months, it's really added up. I've gotten my LLC, my website, my business cards, gotten 3 attorneys, I've done these cases, I've done a lot. And, growth is different for everybody. Growth for me is different than growth for anybody else or anybody else in this group. And, not comparing yourself to others is super important. As long as you keep taking those steps forward, that's growth, and it may look different, but I'm happy with where I've gotten so far, and I know that I'm gonna continue to grow. Maybe small and maybe a little bit at a time, but that's okay, because I'm doing it at my pace, and, you can only do what you gotta do or what you can do, and you just gotta keep more moving forward.